Good afternoon. It's another sunny or partly cloudy and cold day here in eastern North Carolina, and welcome back. It's 2022. Who'd have thunk it? So last year I did close to, the heck I do? Something like 150 videos, maybe, roughly thereabouts. I think I ended off at 115, but there were a bunch of shorts. There were a few other videos. So let's say 125 videos. That was pretty awesome. We got about 180 subscribers, which is again very awesome. So thank you all your subscribers. Again, tell your friends, families, loved ones. Click that bell icon to be notified when I do post up a new video. But today we're back. We're in action. It's January. It's a little chilly. It's much colder in many parts of the country, where it's down into the negative numbers, or at least the low digits. Today, though, we're planting out an apple tree. The apple tree I purchased last January, I believe. It's a Gala apple tree, and I put it into a large pot. And I let it sit there for the year, so to start building its roots, start growing, because it was a little itty bitty thing. And today, I'm going to plant it right here in the orchard. First tree that's going to go in the orchard. Now, what I did was I figured out over the past few months where I wanted this first tree to go. And the apple trees, since the sun goes sort of behind you guys there, the apple trees are going to go towards this side of the orchard, towards the neighboring property over there. I actually have a second apple tree. I forget what the variety is, but it'll go over there someplace at a later point. This apple tree, again, Gala, being Gala, is I think going to be about 20 feet wide, 25 feet high roughly, in like 20 years, and I'll be too old to care about it then. But in the meantime, we're going to dig a hole here. Now again, I'm in growing zone 8A, so the ground isn't frozen hard, which is wonderful. The tree is dormant, which is again wonderful. And I'm going to plant this up into the ground. Now, because my ground is kind of crappy, it was once upon a time a farm, but if you don't take care of the soil tends to do crazy things. And this once upon a time was probably marshland, 100,000 years ago. But it was a farm, and it was used, and everything you plant in the ground pulls some sort of nutrients out, and it's always good to be putting nutrients back in, either through a cover crop or fresh compost or something like that. But it sits idle for a while. The grass goes and it does its thing, and again, the soil beneath the immediate few inches is just like a sandy, silty clay. And you'll see when I dig this up that it's going to be sort of like I can't dig up soil like you normally can. It's going to be blocks. It's going to be a block of this heavy, silty, clay-like soil. So I'm going to dig the hole a little bigger than the pot, actually probably much bigger, and I'm going to try to put down some what they call an Espoma product called Soil Perfect, and that will hopefully help with the drainage over time. I'm also going to be putting in compost and a little bit of topsoil. The topsoil's got amendments in it as well, but I'll mix all that in, and then we'll planting the tree. I'm also going to be planting the tree a little bit higher, a little bit proud, as it were, of the soil. Normally you plant with your crown of the root crown right at ground level. I'll be planting a little higher because, again, the ground, when we get a lot of rain, it tends to flood a little. And the only reason it does that, or the big reason it does that, is again because this ground is it's like a clay, and the water it can't go into the ground or recede into the ground as quickly as it normally would. Let's say if it was just a beautiful, light, loamy soil, or even a sandy soil, it would go down much quicker. So I'm going to plant it a little high. I'll pile the dirt around it. Again, amendments into the hole itself to help with the future drainage. And then we'll talk a little bit more about this on the backside. So let me get to work and you can watch. Okay, so here we go. We got the apple tree planted. Now, if you've watched a ton of gardening videos, if you've planted your own trees, if you've watched more experts plant trees, this was highly unusual in many regards, and this is my take on what I'm doing, and this is not the way you should probably normally plant a tree. But again, because of the ground soil and because of the, again, if we get 3 days of rain, the water's going to be 2 to 3 inches deep. So if I plant the tree a little higher, the roots won't be drowning as much theoretically, especially once the water starts to settle. More roots towards the surface will obviously dry out first, and then the deeper it goes, you know, the more the roots will dry out as the water recedes down. Lots of mulch, of course, to retain the moisture. I'm not worried about weeding around this tree because the plan in the orchard is to sort of let things go wild, to let the grass basically right up to the trunks of the trees. You know, I'm not getting any younger. I'll be turning 50 this year, so the maintenance is something that I have to take into consideration down the road. This will all settle a little bit. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow, I think all day tomorrow, and of course throughout the winter we'll get rain, and of course into the spring and summer. So this tree will settle down probably a few inches at least. The soil that it was in the pot with was very loose and fluffy and airy, and that's great for the roots, and it had good roots. So I'm hoping that now with the native soil that I've mixed in with the compost and with the topsoil and the soil perfector granules, that it'll settle in nicely and continue to grow well. It's going to be in a beautiful sunny spot. It will get, I think, in the summertime, it will probably get from like 9 a.m. right up until sunset of sunlight. So I think it's in a good spot. There are no branches that I see that are diseased or dying or crisscrossing. So that's also a good sign. That means I don't have to do any pruning. Now on my pear trees that are in the front of the property, I have to do some pruning, and I'll show you that in a later video. I do have this bamboo stake here, and right now this tree is okay. But if I notice it leaning, or maybe if we get a heavy windstorm and it starts to sort of pull out of the ground maybe, then I will stake it. Well, it's already there, so I will tie it in. But right now, it's pretty firm, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere. You did see me press down with my foot. I wasn't putting all my weight on it. I was just trying to settle in the soil, as it were. And again, with the subsequent rain and all, it'll help everything settle in more. And once everything settles in more, it'll be nicer. I took some of the excess crap soil, as it were, the sandy, silty soil that I dug up, you saw me dig up, and I placed it around. Again, that'll help keep some water away from it. It'll act as a mini dam. It'll help retain water within it, and eventually it'll all break down. It's you know, the earthworms will hope, you know, there's already earthworms in this soil, believe it or not. There's a lot of earthworms in the soil. So once they start getting a taste of that good compost and the good organic matter that, you know, is in there, I took some of the old mulch and I put it down at the bottom, again, to help with drainage. It'll break down fast in this soil with the earthworms and the temperature and the water, etc. So that'll add organic matter to the soil, and again, it'll start rejuvenating the soil, because the earthworms will then, they move from the bad soil to the good soil and back and forth, and as they move along, the soil is just going to get better and better over the subsequent years. At least that's my hope. I also have a plan. Now, you also saw that when I dug it out, it's almost like bowl shaped. And so many of you may be thinking, or some of you may be thinking, that the roots will only stay within that bowl. And that may be the case, but I have a plan for that going ahead further, and I will show you that in a subsequent video coming up. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified when I do post up a new video. All that being said, so last year I was putting out on average 3 videos a week, and that was great. Some weeks either I was sick or there was other things going on in my personal life, so maybe I only did a short, or there were only 2 videos. Worst case scenario, there were no videos. This year though is going to be different. YouTube is not providing income, of course. It's just, this is my way of documenting things, and who knows, in the future, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years down the road, maybe. I was actually just watching a a furniture restorer, Thomas Johnson. If you haven't seen Thomas Johnson, please look him up on YouTube. Awesome guy, great videos, does fantastic furniture restoration videos. Really, really fun to watch. But he just hit, after 10 years, 100,000 subscribers. So it may be 10 years or more before I get to 100,000 subscribers. Who knows? That's why I keep saying, please tell your friends, families, loved ones, and grumpy old guy across the street. Maybe I'll get there sooner. Maybe I'll get there later. Maybe I'll never get there. Either way. So this year we'll probably down to 1 to 2 videos a week. And the reason being is I need income, as many of us do. I have to pay the bills, and obviously YouTube isn't doing it right now. So I will be doing other things to earn that income. So probably 1 to 2 videos a week. Now, speaking of earning income, you may have seen some of my videos last year where I turned around and made seed trays out of pallet wood. And of course, I've made my garden gates out of pallet wood. And I'm going to continue to do that, but now I've started documenting that over on Bad Wood Goods. So if you want, there'll be a link in the description below. You can go over to Bad Wood Goods and you can watch some of my videos. There's no talking in the videos, it's just me working on the woodworking projects. I also have an Etsy store, which I'll leave a link to below, called Bad Wood Goods. And there you can go buy seed tray or signs or anything else that I'm making out of pallet wood. And you could, purchase those over there. So again, if you'd like to purchase seed tray, because spring is coming up, if you're a gardener, there's seed trays up there now for sale. I don't have a lot, so hurry up, get there, get your seed trays. Not all of them are for vegetables, so please pay attention to the labels. I think I only have 1 or 2 that are made from heat-treated wood, which are safe to use with vegetables. The others you could use with flowers, or maybe even just decor around the house or out in the garden, or whatever you want to use them for, you can. So again, Bad Wood Goods Etsy store. You can go check that out below. That's going to wrap it up for me today. I think I've done enough prattling, and many of you have probably stopped watching this video already. So please be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon. Follow me over on Instagram, where I often post up pictures throughout the week. And I'm going to catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.